Karis Ann Ross, age 37, was a transgendered teacher. She recently committed suicide, and what's so disheartening about the whole situation is this was an ongoing problem since her childhood. Ever since she came out as transgendered, she was bullied tremendously all the way up until her suicide of age 37. If this doesn't really give you perspective, it should, mainly because it goes to show that if something is an ongoing issue for a long duration, it's going to eventually affect you no matter how hard of a facade that you put yourself on. If from age 10 for the next 25 years you're constantly bullied because of your gender, no matter how tough and buff you are, it is eventually psychologically going to take an effect on you when you're constantly degraded for who you feel that you are. And that's the exact situation that happened with Karis. She went to the principal's office that she was teaching at and told the principal the things that the students were saying to her, constantly degrading her, demoralizing her, and the principal did absolutely nothing to combat this. And to me, that's the fundamental problem when dealing with bullying. Is the two key points is intervention and recognition. You know, we can tell people who are being bullied, buck up, fight your bullies, head them on straight head to head. But that really doesn't change things, because bullies are kind of like a predator in the forest. They strike on somebody who they see is weaker or perhaps even insecure, and then they prey on that insecurity, that weakness of that individual, to the point that where they break emotionally, psychologically, and if the longevity of that bullying keeps existing for years upon years, it will most likely lead to that person's suicide, which shouldn't be the case. We live in this day and age where it's extremely hard for young teens to get away from Facebook, Twitter, all these social network sites, which I blame partially for how people are bullied so easily, because, you know, Facebook and their iPhone is such a big part of their lives, but they're constantly interacting with these types of things. So when someone's photo gets leaked or someone's found out, oh, that person's gay, it spreads all throughout phones, Twitters, and social networks. And I want to stress again, intervention and recognition, seeing the problem, recognition, and then intervening with that problem. Because if we don't do this, people are going to harm themselves, they're going to kill themselves, because there's only so much you and I can take before we break. That is a fact. So I guess the question I should be asking is, if you go to a higher authority, your teacher, and they literally do nothing, they have deaf ears to your complaint, people are bullying you for being gay, for being transgender, for being slightly overweight, whatever it be in any instance, how exactly do you intervene and recognize the problem and help and fix it before someone else hurts themselves? My solution, and I honestly believe that this book is phenomenal, it is The Survival Guide to Bullying. This book was written by a bullied teen, Asia Mayrock, and it explores these exact questions. This is what I've been reading this week. It's a really short, small guide on everything regards to bullying, how it affects you, how to intervene, how to recognize it, but most of all, how to stop it before someone you care about or someone who's your friend takes their life. What I like so much about this book, The Survival Guide to Bullying, is the main fact that it really displays how to build confidence when you're being bullied, because that's another key point, is that when you're being told you're fat, you're ugly, that stuff takes a massive toll on your self-esteem. And one of the biggest things is when you have low self-esteem is to try to build confidence, because if you have no confidence, you'll have even more lower self-esteem, which will result in things that people say affecting you 10 times what they normally would. And my favorite thing that I love about this book is how it deals with the topic of isolation. Now, I've made videos on isolation on my channel in the past regarding depression, but this video does a fantastic job of exploring how not to feel isolated, which I've actually mentioned in previous videos already, but it's something that it explores even more on a psychological level and how that affects you. If you'd like to check out this book, The Survival Guide to Bullying, the actual purchase link is linked down below. A lot of people have been asking me on my other social networks what books are my favorite, and this actually is on one of my top 25 favorite book lists. In fact, I'm actually thinking about making a book video where I show you guys my favorite books, many of which stem from philosophy, to religion, to facts about outer space. In fact, even in my new apartment right now, my entire closet is filled with books stemming from almost every type of topic you can possibly imagine. This is like my third or fourth book on the topic of bullying. I believe in this day and age that we need to have a verbal call for action in fighting against bullying, because it is something that is constantly taking people's lives. And as we get into the later 2000s and more people are being popped into existence, we need to be giving young teens and kids methods and way to stop from feeling inadequate growing up in their life, because if they grow up in that environment of feeling degraded and stupid and bullied, they're most likely in their later ages going to have the same feelings about themselves that they had in high school. Because if the issue isn't fixed and fought and dealt with, it becomes a fundamental problem for the rest of their lives. Example, Karis Ann Ross, the 37-year-old transgender teacher who took her life because the principal of the school didn't take her seriously. So it's a real issue, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys agreed. If you do agree, give it a thumbs up. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the week.